Let's now move on. Viewers, some shocking visuals of national emblem being defaced have emerged from Jammu and Kashmir's Hazratbal shrine. Armed with stones, some people literally went on a rampage and started damaging the plaque of Hazratbal shrine. The revered shrine underwent renovation recently and was inaugurated by Waqf chairperson Dr. Andrabi. There were protests against the J&K Waqf board for inscription of the Ashoka emblem on the foundation stone of the new structure within the shrine premises. Chairperson of Jammu and Kashmir Waqf Board and senior BJP leader Dr. Andrabi called the attack on emblem a terrorist attack. She even demanded stringent action against those who tried to obliterate the national emblem. Listen.
ये तो एक दहशतगर्दाना हमला है और एक सियासी पार्टी के गुंडे हैं जिन्होंने ये किया है। इन्हीं गुंडों ने पहले भी कश्मीर को तबाही की थी और आज भी वो खुल के दरगाह शरीफ में आ गए। तो ऐसे लोगों को दरगाह में जो भी आइडेंटिफाई होंगे उम्र भर के लिए यहाँ पे बैन होगी और FIR होगी।
Security has been beefed up at the site as tension simmered. The incident also sparked a massive political war of words. Chief Minister Omar Abdullah broke silence on the controversy and asked why this emblem was put on the plaque at a religious site in the first place. He demanded an apology from those responsible, citing hurt religious sentiments. PDP chief, former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti also appeared to defend the vandals, justifying their anger. Listen in.
उस पत्थर पे एम्बलम लगना चाहिए था या नहीं लगना चाहिए था, पहले तो वो सवाल बनता है। मैंने अभी तक किसी भी मजहबी दायरे में किसी भी फंक्शन में इस तरह का एम्बलम का इस्तेमाल होते हुए नहीं देखा है। तो क्या मजबूरी बनी थी कि हजरतबल के इस प्रोग्राम इस पत्थर पे एक तो एम्बलम इस्तेमाल, आपने पहले तो लोगों के जज्बातों के साथ खिलवाड़ हुआ, कम से कम उसके लिए तो माफी मांगी जाए।
To have any kind of sculpture or something like that is anti-Islamic. It is not the emblem they were hitting. They were angry. Their sentiments were hurt. And I think what should be done now is that there should be an FIR registered against the Waqf, their head and others for blasphemy, because they have acted in a way which has created unrest.
NC MLA Salman Sagar linked the controversy to Bihar elections, claiming that this incident only appears to be pre-planned, keeping in mind the upcoming polls.
ये बात हमारे दीन की है, मजहब की है, हमें इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट हर्ट ना हो, पहली बात। दूसरी बात, कहीं न कहीं हमें ये लग रहा है कि ये शायद प्री प्लान है। आज का जो माहौल है, मुझे लगता है, मेरी राय है कि इलेक्शन का माहौल है, मुल्क में किसी जगह पे बिहार के इलेक्शन को दिमाग में रखा जा रहा है, एक फ्लेयर अप किया जा रहा है और कहीं न कहीं इसको बिहार इलेक्शन के लिए एक्सप्लॉयटेशन का एक समा बनाया जा रहा है।
BJP, on the other hand, called the attack on emblem unacceptable and accused Chief Minister Omar Abdullah of indulging in appeasement politics. Listen in.
जो अशोक चिन्ह है, ये हमारे देश की निशानी है और इस निशानी को तोड़ने की किसी को इजाजत हम नहीं देंगे। जो रास्ता उन्होंने चुना, जिस तरह से उन्होंने बिहेव किया, ये उसामा बिन लादेन वाली लाइन है। अगर इनको इतना ही एतराज है तो पैसे लेके अंदर वो दरगाह में क्यों जाते हैं, मस्जिद में क्यों जाते हैं, पासपोर्ट लेके वो अंदर क्यों जाते हैं?
देखिए, उमर अब्दुल्ला चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, वो कुछ भी कह सकते हैं क्योंकि वो तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करते हैं। अपीजमेंट की राजनीति करने वाले लोग इस तरह की बात करेंगे, लेकिन अशोक स्तंभ पे हमला करना, मुझे लगता है जो राष्ट्रीय पहचान है, राष्ट्रीय चिन्ह है, उस पे हमला करना ये आतंकवादी गतिविधि से कम नहीं है।
So you heard the political war of words there. Many, of course, are raising questions on why no action should be taken against those who indulge in this act of vandalism. And to discuss it, I'm joined by my guest. We have Tuhin A, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Ratan Sharda, who is an author, Advocate Neelofar Masood, leader of NC, is live with us. So is Asif Shah, senior leader PDP, Advocate Nikhil Jain, who is a political analyst, also live with us this evening. And soon we will be joined by Feroz Bakht Ahmed, former Chancellor, MANUU. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. And let me begin this discussion with you, Advocate Nilofer Masood. Now, BJP says the kind of statements we have got from NC and PDP political opponents, of course, have come together on this particular issue. You guys are only doing appeasement politics. How will you like to respond?
The PDP and National Conference, they should come on the platform, but whole country, as a whole country, everybody should stand at the platform, one platform and at one place. Question of our sovereign symbol, which is being in fact regularized, and it has been provided in the Act 2005 state symbol, State Emblem Act 2005 Redway 2007 rules, wherein it has been provided that it being the sovereign symbol of Republic of India, that's our country, it has been provided that it cannot be used or the shrines or in the religious places or for some personal benefit or interest. So we were believing that the person who is holding the highest chair in the Waqf board, she will hold the press conference and seek apology, not only for breaching the law of State Emblem 2005 Redway 2007, but also seek apology from the people for hurting their religious sentiments. But it has not happened. We also feel that by way of using this Waqf board as tool, BJP is using it for their personal interests, because you have rightly heard that elections in Bihar are going to be held in coming days, and maybe they wanted to politicalize and criminalize the issue, and that is the reason they have deliberately, I won't say it accidentally, but they have done it deliberately so that some controversy will be there for using the same for their purposes or for their personal.
Nilofer Masood, I've heard your views there, and I will get BJP to respond to the points that you have raised. But before I go across to the BJP for a reaction, I want to ask you, because so far, none of your party members have really condemned what we are seeing on camera. How there are people who are vandalizing the national emblem. Do you condemn that act?
Yeah, we do condemn it. In fact, we held one press conference in the
so you agree that action
today,
should be taken against them?
This act. We said that there could have been other way also.
No. Do you agree that action should be taken against these people? Do you think action should be taken against these people?
There, but at the first hand, if
yes or no, I'm not going into the reasons behind it. I don't want to go there. Advocate Nilofer, I have a simple question for you before I go across to other guests. 1 second. Do you think vandalism is not the way to express your anger?
But once,
do you agree that vandalism is not the right way to express anger?
They have been disturbed. Yeah, I have already submitted that. We have already said that we don't believe in violence. There should have been no violence. But once something has been done,
so you agree action should be taken against them because they have attacked the national emblem, the way they have defaced the national emblem. Action should be taken against them.
That highest chair, Heena, please. Action should be taken against the person who is responsible for this controversy.
Okay.
Because nobody can be allowed.
Ratan Chadha, how will you like to respond? Action should be taken against the person who is responsible for this entire controversy. According to NC as well as PDP, it is the BJP that is responsible. It is the JNK Waqf Board chairperson that is responsible. But what we are seeing on our screens right now is just anger, because sentiments have been hurt. How will you like to respond?
First of all, let us be very careful in not blaming entire Kashmiri Muslim population with this desecration of the national symbol. The readiness to go hyper is not a good quality for anybody who's dealing with these issues. Now, my question is, if the iconography is not allowed, why the icon on the right side, if you see it's an icon of a mosque, why that is being allowed on the same plaque, why that was not destroyed if it is, again, Islamic thinking, that should also not be allowed. You can see on the right side, it is there. Secondly, if you say that, this entire approach that this religion prohibits symbols or any kind of display, then and if they believe that Kashmiri Muslims belong to Wahhabi Salafi school of Islam, then are they ready to remove or decimate all the mazars, all the maqbaras in Kashmir, because Kashmir is basically a Sufi Islamic state. Don't speak in between, madam. Don't speak in between. I am not dividing Hindu-Muslim. I am talking of your own people who are trying to create a facade of having a religion doesn't allow. Kashmir is full of such signs because Kashmir belongs to Sufi Kashmiri traditions. It is not a Wahhabi Salafi Islam which are trying to impose on the people. If you want to do that, you will have to destroy all other signs of display of Majar, etc., which is there, and you also stop the Sufi music. The Waqf board, they say, they are also displaying this same Ashoka Stamba symbol. Many Waqf boards are displaying that symbol. They should stop using that symbol. Not only that, Muslims across the country should say, we don't want any support from the government. We don't want salaries of imams and qadis paid by the government or by the Waqf board, which is being supported by the government. They should say that we will not use any state money for maintaining my Waqf property, valuing thousands of crores of rupees. Then I can say they have right to say what they are saying. And lastly, Hazratbal is a hotbed of separatists and terrorists for years together. Now this particular host is being reborn with these small heads because they have no guts to fight that host. Remember 1963? When I am talking something which you don't want to speak. I am speaking what you want to avoid. 1963, there was Hazratbal incident when the relic of the Prophet was removed and it led to riots across India. Even in Bangladesh, Hindus are beaten up and they were also attacked. Then in 1993, terrorists stayed in Hazratbal for weeks together. They were served. Nobody got enraged. Nobody threw them out. It was for the government to throw them out. That is what is happening, Hazratbal. So don't tell me I am saying something wrong.
Why do
it has happened.
Jammu Kashmir need to prove again and again?
I respect Kashmiri Muslims who are ready to stand up to your old kind of Islamist, mentality in which Kashmir Valley. They have new Kashmir, there is new Hindu youth who don't want to fall for your kind of divisive politics. That is also hurting you. That is the host of this particular issue you brought up. They should have gone to police. Why did they go to police? Why did they take law in their own hands?
Okay.
Okay,
Ratan Chadha, you've made your point. Advocate Niloufar, 1 second. Let me go across to other guests as well, then I'll come back to you. Now, Tausif Shah, isn't it a fair point that there was no need to really take law in their own hands, and perhaps action, is justified against people who were defacing, who were disrespecting the national emblem there?
Very good evening, Heena, and to my all the fellow panelists. I would just like to start with this, that why, just show me one mandir, just show me the Ram Mandir, जो एक बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोत्साहन के साथ बनाया गया. Just show me one Ram Mandir where there's an
very good question.
Ashoka Chakra over there. Or show me any Christian temple, or show me, just a second, sir, please don't interrupt.
10 seconds.
Yes. Sir, please don't.
I will need 10 seconds. Yes.
It's a very humble request. Please don't interrupt. Just let me finish and after that you can talk. So just show me one mandir. Just show me the Ram Mandir. Just show me Delhi. There's the biggest Akshardham Mandir. Just show me one mandir where there is Ashoka emblem on that. Now, the second point comes out there that this whole issue has been misunderstood. Misunderstood in the way that, whether it being a Wahhabi Islam, whether it being a Sufi Islam, whatever you call it, because we have just one Islam, where we cannot hang, we cannot put any image. The image means the image of a living, maybe human being, maybe an animal. So this is a living animal. This is the image of a lion. Lion is not, any image is not permitted where we offer namaz. And second thing you have to remember that this is not only a mosque, it's a place where a relic of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been placed, is housed there. So this is to us a mini Medina. The people who cannot go to Medina, who cannot afford to go to Medina or Makkah, they visit there, they treat themselves that they are reaching the spot where our prophet is lying.
Okay.
Now there's one more point that we are seeing the vandalization. We are seeing the vandalization. They should not have done this. But we need to ask the question to the Vice Chancellor. She is a Vice Chancellor. She has been selected to become the Vice Chairman of the Waqf Board.
Right.
We cannot equate her to the local public. Now, the Vice Chancellor she's not a Hindu, she's a Muslim. She had to understand that this is not permitted. She comes from a family.
Okay.
जिन्हें हम वो जिस family से आती हैं, her name is Daraksha Andrabi. She comes from the Andrabi family, and we call them, these people are the ठेकेदार्स of Islam.
Okay.
They know more Islam than us.
Okay.
She should have already said that this is not permitted. Let's not use it, because we have not used it in the Ram Mandir.
By the way, she herself has called what we are seeing on our screens also, the act of vandalism, as nothing short of an act of terrorism. You made some 2-3 important points, and I want to go across to Ratan Sharda for the Ram Mandir reference that you brought into the debate here, because another Neta from Jammu and Kashmir has used that point, and then I'll go across to Firoz Bakht Ahmed on the points that you have raised. Ratan Sharda, quick response.
If he had heard my argument earlier, he would not raise the question. Now he has exposed himself. All major temples are controlled by the government. So the entire temples have Ashoka Chakra all around them. We have no right about the temples. As far as Ram Mandir is concerned, it is built by Hindus, by their money, their funds. And that's why I said, give up Waqf Board. Say, I don't want any help from government. I don't want salaries from government. I will run my own Hazratbal or whichever mosque it is, with all the respect. Then I will say, okay, there is no Ashoka Chakra should be there. Either you don't use government facility, don't use the logo on your Waqf Board letterheads, and also do not seek any support from the government like Hindus did for Ram Temple. Then I can understand what you're saying.
Okay, I want to now go across to first Tuhin Sinha and then Firoz Bakht Ahmed, because there are 3 different issues here. And let's stick to the main point that we have come to discuss here today. One of them, of course, the protest that happened on why the national emblem was there on this plaque. That's one. The second issue is the vandalism that happened, and that's the point that I am raising today. Is this justified? Because political parties in Jammu and Kashmir have tried to justify this act of vandalism, this act of defacing and insulting national emblem by saying that it's just an outburst. They are reflecting that they are angry. And the third argument, Tuhin Sinha, that has come is that it has been pre-planned. You have orchestrated all of this ahead of Bihar elections. How will you like to respond?
Well, good evening, Heena. Good evening, everybody. The third point is absolutely banal. It's meaningless. So let me just concentrate on the 2 points that you made, and let me address those issues. Number one, when it comes to desecration of national emblem, it is nothing short than an act of terrorism and a desperate attempt to revive the retrograde ghetto mentality, which we had tried to do away with the abrogation of Article 370, and it will not succeed. To answer Omar Abdullah's specific question, why national emblem had been installed over there, to my sense, there are 3 reasons. One, national emblems marks a commitment to truth, peace and justice. And given the history of the place in recent decades, it is important to reiterate a commitment to truth, peace and justice. Also, Satyamev Jayate, which has been etched on the national emblem, comes from Mundaka Upanishad, which reiterates our civilizational ethos, and it is important to emphasize over here that Kashmir has a civilizational connect with India, a fact which both, the Abdullahs and the Muftis will try their best to undermine. And number 3, and most importantly, in the present context, it is important to emphasize that Kashmiriyat, the whole concept of Kashmiriyat, exists within the ambit of Bhartiyat, it exists within the ambit of Hindustaniyat. These are things which they need to understand. These are things which they need to understand, and they better understand. Gone are the days. When it comes to the question which a gentleman from Kashmir asked, why has it not been installed against in front of a temple. If it is installed, we will welcome it. But a temple does not, most temples across the country, have not seen any violence.
Temple or masjid.
So I think,
shrines.
My point is very clear.
Don't divide the country on these names.
Okay, Advocate Niloufar, 1 second. Feroz Bakht Ahmed, you heard where it's...
You were asking me that question.
One second. Okay, both of you now calm down, please. Both of you, please calm down. There are two panelists who still have not spoken. So let me go across to them as well. Feroz Bakht Ahmed, you heard all sides here. You heard what the politicians had to say as well in the beginning itself. How will you like to respond? Because here we are talking about not an ordinary symbol. It is our national emblem. It's the pride of every citizen. It's a pride of our entire country. I mean, how is it justified, the way it is being defaced?
Absolutely, Ms. Heena.
Heena.
It was really very shocking. Yes, Ms. Heena, thank you. It was
Heena.
very shattering and shocking. Yes, Ms. Gambhir. It was very shocking and shattering when the news reached me, because any national emblem, any national, symbol, whether it is Ashoka Chakra, whether it is three lions, whether it is tricolor, or any other thing, we exist. All Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians, we exist because our nation exists. All these symbols exist. This reminds me of the terrorist act of Bamiyan Buddha. The way this symbol was removed. I mean, forget about mosque or temple. It is a symbol of nationalism, and the people who have done it and the people who are supporting it, maybe it is the Chief Minister of Kashmir who at times speaks anti-national language. Till the time there are Muslims, nationalists and patriotic Muslims like us, we will not let this happen. And one gentleman was educating, about what should be there on the plaque of a mosque and what should not be there. He talked about Mecca, he talked about all these things. There is no need. Let me tell this gentlewoman, my sister, and also this gentleman, that, in the words of Afzal Manglori, Bharat pe mere rahmati parwardigar hai, kripa prabhu ram ki kanha ka pyar hai. One more thing, if you have not understood this, and if you have any objection against it, mujhko sukoon milta hai मेरी आजान से यह देश सुरक्षित है गीता के ज्ञान से. We have gelled well since centuries. So please don't talk about these pathetic things. These are very petty things. We are all nationalists. And Ratan Sharda very rightly said that not all Muslims, not all Kashmiris are with that kind of vandalism. We are all Indians, and let us actually be real Indians. And the spirit of India is that we have to gel well. We have to take India to the position of the leader of the world, right?
Right.
And yes. Finally, let me request both my sister and brother who are from Kashmir that you are Indians first. You are Indians first. Later on, whatever you call yourself, Kashmiri or whatever, but we are all Indians. And being Indians, our Islam also says, Hubbul Watni Nisful Iman. Half of our faith is to be patriotic,
right,
to be nationalist, to the land where we live. So
right,
we have to think about all these things and avoid all these kind of vandalist acts.
Okay. Advocate Nikhil Jain, I mean, do you think that these arguments that are being made, bringing in the issue of Ram Temple, Bihar elections, linking it to Bihar elections, calling it orchestrated by BJP, perhaps it's just an attempt to divert the attention from the main issue here, where we are seeing in these visuals, there are people who went on a rampage. They are disrespecting the national emblem. So is this an attempt to divert the attention? Because we have not really seen, leaders from NC, PDP, opposition coming out and saying that this act of vandalism, this disrespect towards national emblem is not acceptable. They've all gone to justify that this is an outburst.
I hope I can make my points without any interjections. First of all, let me outrightly condemn this act of vandalism and desecration of the national emblem. This is totally not acceptable. And as far as I heard, the PDP and the NC spokespersons, both on this very panel, have condemned this act as well. Of course, they've also laid out the context of why this happens. I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Muslim scholar. I had no idea about this till today, but apparently if there is a problem within the religious belief of not having any animal or any human in any form in a place of worship or in a religious place in Islam, this could have very well been avoided. And a shrine that falls under the Waqf board, it is the normal duty and competence of the Waqf board to understand these religious beliefs and to not place that. Secondly, and perhaps a more important point so far as the legal aspect of this is concerned, we have an act called the State Emblem of India Prohibition of Improper Use Act 2005. Under that, there are rules formulated by the Government of India called the State Emblem of India Regulation of Use Rules 2007. There, under Rule 8, there is an exhaustive list of buildings on which the national emblem can be placed. For your viewers who may not understand, exhaustive list means only these places, no other place. And that exhaustive list only includes the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the legislature buildings, the court buildings, the government buildings, the diplomatic missions, and so on and so forth. No other building, let alone a religious shrine or a religious building, no other building should have the national emblem. It's an improper use. It is punishable under law. You can be imprisoned for it. I really don't understand how can the Waqf board chairman go ahead and approve something like this. Lastly, you asked me a very important question, is this just a deviation from these people vandalizing the national emblem? I don't think so. These people did a wrong act. Many people have condemned it. You have 3 opposition panelists on the show. All 3 have condemned it. But you also have to put it out in context. And lastly, the law and order responsibility in the state of Jammu and Kashmir lies with the BJP. And they keep on squarely failing at it. And one last point to just end before I end. BJP is the last party that should be talking about disrespecting the national flag or the national emblem. I have a whole string of incidents from their leaders, from their MLAs, where somebody unfurled an upside national flag on Independence Day, when a BJP flag was put over the national flag, when a BJP MLA said saffron flag would be the national flag one day, when a BJP MLA wiped his face with the national flag. So they are the last party who should be talking about respecting or disrespecting the national flag, and that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Okay. Advocate Nikhil Jain, you've made your points, and like you said, you've reminded viewers as well that these people have condemned the vandalism that we've seen. By the way, Mehbooba Mufti, PDP chief, had said people weren't really hitting the national emblem, and by the way, none of these leaders have said yes to the kind of action that is being taken against these vandals, the people that, went on this rampage. They have, in fact, defended their action by saying whatever they did, it happened because their religious sentiments were hurt, perhaps forgetting what about the sentiments of the people of this country that were also hurt when a national emblem, not an ordinary symbol here, a national emblem was being defaced, was being disrespected. Anyways, the rules that you quoted, I want Tuhin A to respond to that.
Of course, my sentiments are hurt, and in the same way when BJP...
If Omar Abdullah, if the Kashmir people, if these Kashmir, if these Kashmir parties feel that the placement of national emblem was inappropriate over there, they had every right to legally challenge it. But they are condoning violence over here. If Omar Abdullah does not realize the importance of national emblem so as to question it, why it was placed, I think it basically shows his disregard for the national emblem, which is what needs to be highlighted over here. And secondly, it marks a return to the radicalized mentality, which we have tried to end with the abrogation of Article 370. If strictest punishment is not met out to those people who vandalized it, it will only encourage an alienated mindset which was responsible for the mess that Kashmir was in. If you have a legal issue with it, you challenge it legally. But, to indulge in this kind of behavior and then to condone it, especially, I heard the statement of Mehbooba Mufti. Now, one of the panelists on your show has clearly said that even the vice chairman of the Waqf board, Ms. Andrabi, comes from a very erudite family of Muslim scholars. How is it that she is justifying it? How is it that she does not have a problem?
How is it that she is the one who is actually calling this vandalism that we have seen as an act of terrorism? She is the one who's called it, and I believe she also knows much more than me and Advocate Nikhil Jain about the processes here. So we'll have to leave it there. We'll have to see what happens ahead. But for now, I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on this debate on the News Hour this Saturday evening.